We have a couple of questions for Ms. Kelley before we bring the jury in. Who wants to ask those questions?
I can, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Kelley.
Ms. Kelley, can you tell us in the days before the homicide, when you were at Michelle's, staying at Michelle's, were you and the defendant using drugs in her house?
Yes.
Do you know if she knew you were using drugs in her house?
Honestly, I don't think she knew.
You don't think she knew?
No.
Okay. When was the first time you think she knew?
When me and Fabian would go to her bathroom and go smoke, I think she thought we were just smoking weed.
Yeah, you're going to need to pull that microphone up just like we did yesterday.
Okay.
She thought you were smoking weed?
I think she thought we were smoking just weed.
Oh, that's gone.
Gone.
You gotta hold
Right
it.
there. It's an R.
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Repeat your answer, please.
I think she thought we were just smoking weed.
Okay. So when I say drugs, you're taking that to mean meth?
Yes.
Okay. So she did know you were smoking weed in the house, but
Yes.
not meth?
Not meth.
Okay. And then, when you first got out of custody and got released, you babysat for Cherie's children?
Yes.
Did you do any other babysitting for anyone's children?
No.
Does Lori Beck have children?
No.
Does Caroline Armijo have kids?
Yes.
Does Roxanne Cordova have kids?
Yes.
Okay. Did any of
Did they have kids in 2016?
Yes. Yes.
and did any of them ask you to babysit?
No.
I think that covers it, Judge. So thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm going to have the bench conference come on up, please.
Ms. Kelley, we kind of, yesterday afternoon, got through the first few days, I think, that you were out of custody. Let me just back up a little bit to Wednesday the 17th. Was that the day you met up with Fabian, or was it Thursday?
It was Wednesday.
Okay. And you said that you went to meet up with Lori Beck?
Yes.
Okay. When you met up with Lori Beck, was that for a legal or illegal activity?
Illegal activity.
And was the defendant with you?
Yes, sir. I mean, yes,
I
ma'am.
need you just to keep that right in front of your mouth, please.
So I think, so we got through the night of the 18th, which was Thursday night, and you stayed over at Michelle's. That's the day you went to Walmart. Is that where you remember leaving off?
Yeah.
In general, during this time you were out, did you and the defendant make an agreement that you could rent a room at Michelle Martens' apartment?
Yes, I believe it was Thursday. He told me that I could rent the little boy's room for $50 until I could get on my feet.
Did Michelle know about that agreement?
I don't think so, but I'm not too sure.
Who were you supposed to give the money to?
Fabian.
Ms. Kelley, during the time you were out, why didn't you stay with your mom at your brother's house?
Because I was using.
Why didn't you stay with your friend? Well, let's move to the 19th. Let's move to, which is a Friday. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ms. Gilly, we have some issues with the staff. I don't know, let's try moving the microphone on the lectern.
Okay, this one?
Yeah, that
Is
was
that it?
problem. Hold on, let me.
Swap part? If I move away from it. There we go.
Let's try putting it down. I keep turning it down. Just stop moving for a second. Let me visit. It's still there. That's better. It's just that I turned volume all the way down. All right, go ahead and try speaking.
Is this better?
Can you hear me? We don't have the feedback, but, and Ms. Kelley, can you just state your name? I'm just doing a test here.
Jessica Kelley.
We may have to call purchasing and see what's going on with the, please. We'll continue, but we're going to bring in some experts to work on our audio system, okay? All right, go ahead.
Oh, yes, right there.
Try this as
You want me to try that one instead?
well. See if that's
Is that, oh, no, I have a lot of pages. Is that better?
Yeah.
Do this one? Okay. So we'll use this one.
It's still there, but we'll continue until we get someone from the building to work on the audio.
Can I switch back so I don't have to
Sure.
since it's the same? Okay, so let's go to the morning of the 19th. So you stayed over at Michelle's house on the 18th. The morning of the 19th, what did you have planned that morning?
I had a job interview at Church's Chicken.
And who, that morning, do you remember who, if Victoria went to school?
Me and Michelle left. Fabian was still sleeping, but she told Fabian to get the kids off to school.
Do you know if that was a normal practice?
I'm not too sure.
Did he seem like it was uncomfortable for him, or it was just no big deal?
It was no big deal to him.
How did you get to your job interview? What car?
Michelle's car.
And who drove?
Michelle.
What did she do while you were in the job interview?
She just stayed in the car.
How long did that take?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes. It wasn't too long.
After your job interview, where did you go?
I went to Pee Wee shop.
And this is the same Pee Wee we heard about yesterday?
Yes.
And you're not sure of his name?
His name is Flavio. I'm
Flavio.
sorry. Yesterday I was just a little emotional.
It's okay. What did you do at Flavio's shop?
I acted like I was taking her car to get an estimate to get a paint job to go talk to Pee Wee.
Say that again, you acted like you were?
Well, actually, no. I took her over there to get her car estimated to get a paint job to her, and then I went to see my friend and let him know that I had an upcoming job.
And did Michelle go inside the shop with you?
Yes, she did.
And who did you meet inside the shop?
I met Martine and Pee Wee.
What's Martine's last name?
I'm not too sure of his last name.
Did you know him before this?
Yes.
How did you know him?
I met him through Pee Wee at the shop.
And how long were you at the shop?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Did you engage in any illegal activity at that shop?
Yes.
Did Ms. Martens know?
Yes.
Where did you go after that?
After that, we went back to her apartment.
Do you remember about what time that was when you got back?
It was no later than 11, 12.
What happens when you get back to the apartment?
Fabian wanted me to cook some enchiladas, so I made enchiladas, and we ate, and she went to work, and me and Fabian took off in her car.
Who drove her car?
Fabian.
Where did you guys go?
I believe we went and we met up with
Is that Roxanne Cordova?
Roxanne Cordova, and we went to one of his friend's shop to get a haircut. He ended up getting a haircut.
I'm sorry, he ended up what?
He didn't end up getting a haircut.
Did you or him engage in illegal activity at that point?
I did.
Did the defendant know about that?
Yes. That's the reason why we went over there.
So you went to get a haircut that didn't happen?
Yeah.
And then how long were you at that place?
I would say 30 minutes until somebody else showed up and we left.
What kind of place was this?
I don't know, it was an apartment, but like a studio of some sort.
How long were you there?
About 30 minutes.
After you left, who drove Michelle's car?
Fabian.
Where did you go?
I believe we went back to, we stopped at David's house, our Uncle David's house,
What's his last name?
Chavez.
How is your uncle?
He was with my aunt on my dad's side, and he has children, or he has a son with my aunt.
So you and the defendant?
He's not blood or nothing, we just call him that.
You call him Uncle David?
Yeah, we call him Uncle David.
And what did you do at Uncle David's house?
We picked up something.
Did you engage in illegal activity at Uncle David's house?
Yes.
Did the defendant?
Yes.
How long were you there?
20 minutes.
What did you do after that?
We went and we stopped at one of my sister's friend's house so I could pick up money to send her money in prison.
Do you remember if you saw your friend or cousin Amanda that day?
Yeah, actually we did after we picked up the money from my sister's friend,
Tell us Amanda's name.
Amanda Padilla.
And how, is she a real cousin?
She's a real cousin.
To the defendant also?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about stopping at Amanda's.
We stopped over there real quick. He's like, hey, you want to go see Amanda and the kids? I'm like, sure. We stopped there. I didn't know that they had some issues with each other. I didn't
When you
know
say they, you mean?
Amanda and Fabian, they weren't getting along.
Okay.
But I ended up showing up. I was just fresh out of prison, so Fabian was excited. I seen my little cousins, Ben and Anna, and we left.
Did you make any plans with Amanda?
Yes, we made plans for a barbecue on Sunday.
Did you go into Amanda's house?
We were inside Amanda's house.
And was there a limitation on how long she wanted you to be there?
Yeah.
What?
Because her boyfriend was coming home,
Who's her boyfriend?
Angelo.
What's his last name?
I don't know.
And why did it matter if her boyfriend was there?
I'm not too sure. I never met him before I went to prison.
After you left Amanda's house and planned to have a barbecue on Sunday, which would have been the 21st, where did you go?
We went back. Well, actually, we stopped at Smith's. We grabbed a 4-pack, and we went back to the apartment,
Whose apartment?
to Michelle's apartment.
Who was home when you got there?
Just me and Fabian.
What did you guys do in her apartment?
We sat there and we drank a 4-pack.
4-pack of what?
Beer
Beer? Okay. Where in the apartment did you drink the beer?
in the living room.
Do you remember what time of day this was?
It was before Michelle got off of work. I believe before 9 or 10.
In the evening?
Yeah.
That night, were Victoria and her brother there?
Yes.
Do you remember what time they got over?
They got back when Michelle came home from work.
And did you stay at Michelle's apartment again that night?
Yes.
What was the sleeping arrangement that night?
I was staying on the couch, but when I got there, I wanted to get ready. I was in the shower. Fabian was on my phone. I guess Martine text.
Is this the same Martine you saw at
Yes.
Pee Wee's shop?
And Fabian told him to go ahead and come by, and I guess he gave him the address on the phone. I didn't really know until he was like outside. I'm like, why'd you do that, you know? But he thought it was a joke. But
So Martine came to Michelle's apartment?
yes,
And everybody was there?
yes,
The kids were there?
yes.
What time did he come over?
I would say about 11 o'clock at night.
And how long did he stay there?
He stayed there until the morning.
Were the kids awake when he got there at 11 o'clock at night? Or were
No,
they
they're already in bed.
And did Michelle see Martine?
Yes,
And the defendant knew Martine was there?
yeah,
Did you engage in sex with Martine?
yes,
Where?
on the couch.
The couch where you were sleeping?
Mhm.
Do you know
Is
if
it yes, is it no?
I'm sorry.
Do you know if the defendant knew about that?
Yes, he walked in on us.
Was there a time ever, and do you remember about what time in the morning that he left?
He left about 7 in the morning because I had to get up and go to my son's football game.
Did he ever return to that apartment as far as you know?
No.
So that morning, now we're on the 20th, which is Saturday the 20th. Tell us about, you said you had to get up, tell us about what you did that day.
Me and Fabian got up, we got ready. We stopped at the gas station, we got some snacks for the game.
Were you in, what were you driving?
Fabian was driving Michelle's car?
Was she with you?
No.
Okay, continue, and you got some snacks?
We got snacks, we stopped at McDonald's, got something to eat. I told him to go ahead and go to Pee Wee's shop if anything because Pee Wee needed some floor work, and I told him why don't he go over there, you know, and keep him company and maybe get a side job. I told him to drop me off before the park because my family didn't want me hanging around Fabian. So I had him drop me off not in front of the park but on the side of like a road before the park. And I told him I would call him when I was done with the game.
Do you remember that day while you were at the game, or I guess maybe not remember while you were at the game, but do you remember that day receiving a voicemail from the defendant?
Actually, I didn't know about the voicemail for a while because I didn't even check my voicemail because the game was too loud.
Did you hear it later?
Yes.
May I approach the council now?
Sure. Yes. Ms. Kelley, I'm going to have you speak up just a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Kelley, I'm going to show you what's been marked as States 219, and this is a thumb drive. This thumb drive contains a voicemail left on your phone at 1:57 p.m. Were you at your son's game at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've heard that voicemail before?
Yes, I have.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move to admit States 219 into evidence.
Any objection?
If we could approach.
Okay, come on up.
So that's,
I turned all the volume down.
okay. So that was a little hard to hear, but do you remember that voicemail?
Yes.
Do you know why, or tell me what you think his emotions were in that voicemail.
When he's drinking, he gets a little aggressive, and well,
Closer to your mouth.
he gets a little aggressive when he's drinking.
Was he angry with you?
No, he's not angry with me. It's just he likes to make a show for people.
So was that a normal tone?
Yeah. I know it wasn't threatening because I know him. You know, he's not. He wasn't
Just the
threatening.
way he said.
It's just the way he said it. Yeah. He was upset because I wasn't answering the phone.
How long were you at your son's game?
I believe about 3 hours.
And after the game, where did you go?
I went back to my mom's house with my son and my brother and my family. I had my son pack a bag and I grabbed some clothes and I called Fabian and I let me know when he's outside.
You called the defendant?
Yes.
To come get you?
Yes.
What time did he come get you?
I believe it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Whose car was he in?
Michelle's.
Was anyone with him?
Yeah, some guy that looked like he was on like heroin or something. I don't know who he was. It was just some guy he was with.
And you've never seen that
I've
man
never
before?
seen that guy before.
Why did you think he was on heroin?
1 second. I'm sorry.
Yours got really close.
I believe he was on heroin because he was nodding out, and what Fabian told me that he got him well.
What does getting well mean?
Giving him a fix.
So that man took drugs before, in your opinion, before he took
Yeah.
drugs? Where did you go with this man?
I was a little upset that Fabian bring him with me to pick up my son because we were supposed to go pick up my daughter. So I was like, hey, well, where are we gonna take this guy, you know? So we stopped at the gas station. I put gas and we dropped him off at the casino. I told him, I don't care where you drop him off, just drop him off, you know?
Because you had your son with you?
Yeah,
Which casino did you drop him off at?
I believe it was San Diego.
When you left your mom's house, did you bring some of your stuff?
Yes.
Describe the containers.
I bring like a clear tub and I believe a basket with some Jordan boxes.
So you drop this guy off at Sandia, and then it's you and your son and Fabian. Who's driving?
Well, before we drop him off, we stop at the apartment. That guy goes to use the bathroom. Fabian runs in real quick. We drop off the clothes that I have, and then we go to Smith's right down the road where Michelle works.
Let me back up just a little bit. You said before you dropped this man off at the casino, you went to the apartment? Whose
Yes,
apartment?
Michelle's.
And this man went into Michelle's apartment?
Yes.
Was she home?
No.
Okay.
We went to Smith's and I went to get some stuff for the kids to eat. So I told Mondo to stay out in the car just in case Fabian would take off or something. So I told Mondo to stay outside. And I got down and I got some stuff for some burgers. And then
Who are the burgers for?
the burgers are for my kids. Well, for all of us.
Where did you go after that?
We dropped him off at the casino after that.
Was there a party at the casino that you knew about?
I found out later on Facebook that my cousins were having a party over there.
Who are your cousins?
Fabian's brothers,
What are their names?
Stevie, Joseph, and Adrian.
You testified yesterday that you grew up with Fabian. Did you also grow up with those brothers that you just talked about?
Yes.
And do you know if when they were kids they were in a tagging crew?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
As long as I can remember, the older boys were from TCK and
What's TCK?
Two Sit Crew.
How do you know they were in TCK?
They told me that they were from there, and they would always yell it out at parties or whatever.
What do they yell out?
TCK,
Anything else?
chaos.
And which older, you said the older ones, which ones are the older ones?
Well, Joseph really didn't. It was Stevie and Adrian and Fabian.
You said Joseph didn't?
No, Joseph didn't.
Did Joseph, was he
Mike,
involved?
closer, please.
Was he involved with a different group?
Yes,
Which one?
5 points.
5 points? As they grew up, did the defendant and his brothers, do you know if the defendant and his brothers stayed involved in these gangs?
I don't believe they did. I believe they grew up out of it and actually got their lives together. But I wasn't too sure because I kind of got distant when my grandma died.
Let's go back to dropping off this person at the casino. Where did you go next?
We went to go pick up my daughter
Where was she?
on the west side.
And how did you get there?
Fabian drove me.
And you still have your son?
Yes, we have my son with us.
And how did you get there?
Fabian drove me.
And you still have your son?
Yes, we have my son with us.
What did you do after you picked up your daughter?
We went back to the apartment.
What did you do in the apartment that night?
I went through my clothes and washed the clothes. I played with the kids, made burgers for the kids.
When you first got there, was Michelle home?
No,
When you first got there with your kids?
it was just me, Fabian, and my kids.
May I coach? I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification as states 222. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
What is that of?
I took pictures of our plates and posted on Facebook.
Your Honor, the state would move for admission states 222.
No objection?
All right, and before we move on, I had an idea for audio. I'm going to have you give, because you keep moving the microphone away.
I'm sorry.
So either, there's another lapel mic here. I wonder if we strap Ms. Kelley with that lapel mic and get rid of the wireless.
Thank you.
I'm just going to show the jury here what 222 is. So what apartment are you in here?
In Michelle's apartment.
And those are the plates you made for you and the kids?
Yes.
Did Michelle and her kids get home? And was the defendant home when you made these?
Yes.
For the record, 222 is admitted. Oh, I'm sorry.
What time did Michelle get home with her kids?
I believe about 9 or 10. I believe she was at work and she had to pick up her kids from her parents.
Her kids were at the grandparents' house?
Yes.
Where did everybody, now there's a lot of people there, where did everyone sleep that night?
Well, Michelle's kids slept in Victoria's room. My kids slept on the couch, and I ended up sleeping in Matthew's room.
The next day, Sunday, August 21st, did you get in touch with someone named Willie?
Yes.
Who's that?
He's my stepbrother,
What's his full name?
William Hollis.
How was he your stepbrother?
My dad was dating his mom for part of my childhood, and we grew up together.
Why did you get in touch with him or him get in touch with you?
I believe he was at the party with Stevie and them, and he contacted me. He seen me on Facebook, and he wanted to see me and my kids. So I let him know that I was gonna have a barbecue Sunday at Amanda's if he wanted to pick me up, and we could all go over there.
Did you go, so this day, the 21st, is this the day that you had planned for the barbecue with him?
Yes.
How did you meet up with him?
Michelle took me to the Giant near her house, and that Giant wasn't the right Giant that he was at, so we drove to the other Giant with my kids, and she dropped me off, and me and Willie and my kids, we ended up going to my friend Sharice because we needed to go grab some stuff from the store for the barbecue.
And so now you're in Willie's,
Truck.
he has a truck?
Mhm.
Okay, keep going. What did you do after the grocery store?
We ended up driving by our old house that I grew up in, and we went to Amanda's and we had a barbecue.
Who lives with Amanda at her house?
Her 3 kids and her boyfriend.
Is that Angela?
Yes.
Was Michelle invited to this barbecue?
No.
Was the defendant invited to the barbecue?
Well, I let him know he could come whenever he got ready. He acted like he didn't want to go, so
So the morning you're getting ready, you acted like you didn't want to
yeah,
go?
so I didn't want to push the issue, so I just went about my day and what I had planned.
Did the defendant end up coming to this barbecue?
Yeah, he ended up showing up.
What happened when he got there?
Amanda's son came and told him that he had to leave. Fabian got an attitude with Ben. Ben went and told Amanda about Fabian not wanting to leave. She came out and a fight started. She ended up hitting him
Where did she hit him?
in his face, in front of the kids and everybody.
Was she pregnant at the time?
Yes, actually she was holding a baby and handed me the baby. I handed the baby to my daughter to try to intervene.
So when she handed you the baby, did you know something was
Yeah,
going to happen?
I knew something was gonna happen.
Keep telling us what happened at that time.
As Fabian was leaving, I tried to stop her from fighting with him. They're my cousins. I don't want them fighting. And plus, all the kids are there. It's kind of embarrassing. Willie shows up with Fabian's ex-girlfriend Tasha
Tasha, what's the lesson?
Miller. She jumps out. She goes at Fabian. Amanda goes at Fabian. I'm trying to block them from hitting Fabian. And Fabian gets mad at me. Amanda ends up throwing a rock at the car. And I'm like, Amanda, what are you doing? That's not even his car. Cut it out, Words were exchanged. He told Amanda that he's coming back with his brothers. And Amanda told him, come on then,
What does it mean to say I'm coming back with my brothers? How did you take that as?
Like they were going to come back and they were going to fight. That's how I took it.
Did the defendant have some injuries from this fight?
Yes.
Where were they?
Amanda split open his face, his eye.
Were you aware of any threatening text messages that the defendant sent later?
Well, later on, as soon as all that happens, I go in and we pack up the party and everybody leaves. I take my kids to their dad's and me and Willie go on our way. But as me and Willie are driving around, Amanda texts me and tells me...
Objection, hearsay.
Response? Move on, really. Did you end up going back to Amanda's house?
No.
Did you see Angela that day?
Actually, yes, I did go back late before the texts started. But when I went back, I was engaging in illegal activity. And Angela was there with his friends. And
Let me back you up just a little bit. When you were first at the barbecue with Fabian, was Angela there?
No.
When the fight happened, he was
No,
not?
he wasn't there.
And when you got back over there, was he there then? Or
Yes. I went and dropped off my kids and I went back to make sure everything was okay and to talk to my cousin Amanda. And Angela was there with his friends and they were waiting for Fabian to show up.
What friends, how many friends were there?
There's 2 carloads.
Two carloads. About how many people?
Probably about 6 to 8 guys.
6 to 8 guys. Did you talk to these guys?
No,
Why not?
they look pretty scary.
What, do you know why they were there?
They were waiting for Fabian and my cousins to come back.
Did you see a firearm?
Yes,
Who had that firearm?
Angelo.
How was Angelo acting?
he's really upset. And he's being real secretive with his friends, and I know something's about ready to pop off. I've been in situations like it, so I recognized it was time to go.
The party vibe was...
Yeah, the party was already over, and they turned to another thing.
Where were the other kids that had been there earlier? Aside from you?
They lived there. They were there. They were in their rooms.
Did you know any of these guys?
No.
To your knowledge, did the defendant or his brothers ever come back and get involved in that situation?
No.
After the barbecue, do you know if the defendant was upset with you?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because I texted him telling him that I was gonna go back to the apartment, and he told me that I shouldn't. And I kind of got upset with him, and he says, well, why were you holding me down? I was like, I was blocking you from being hit. You know what I mean? I was just trying to protect you.
So you wanted to go back to the apartment and
He didn't want me to go back. He was upset about the whole thing.
So if you couldn't go back to the apartment, where were you going to go that night?
I ended up at Martens.
How did you get there?
Willie took me.
What part of town does Martine live in? Or
He lives kind of in the war zone
any
area.
other streets?
I don't remember the streets. I could if I was driving them, but I don't remember the names of the streets.
Did Willie have some money?
Yes.
Did he give you some money?
Yes.
Did you look that night to engage in illegal activity?
Yes.
Did you meet up with some twins, or someone you call the twins?
Yes.
What are their names?
Jessica Rivera and Star.
Did you and Willie engage in illegal activity with those twins?
Yes.
Was there some issue with the twins that night?
Yeah. I gave them money. They didn't come through. I had to wait, and we were driving around for a while, and we ended up just going to Martens. I ended up meeting back up with them to get what they owed me, and I stayed at Martens.
Can you approach me? After you met up with the twins, where did you go?
I went back to Martens.
Was Willie with you when you went back there?
Yes.
Did you both stay over?
He stayed for a little while to kind of sober up before he got back on the road to go back to where he's from.
He was leaving town?
Yes, he was leaving town.
The next day would have been the 22nd, which is Monday.
Mm-hmm.
When you woke up, what did you do?
Martin was getting ready for work. He asked me to clean up the house while he was gone. I told him okay. He went to work. I cleaned up his house. I ended up getting in contact with Fabian and asked him to come pick me up.
Did you do that?
Yes.
What car did he pick you up in?
Him and Michelle picked me up.
The two of them together?
Yes.
Who was driving?
Fabian.
Where did the three of you, was anyone else with them?
No, just us.
Where did the three of you go?
I had him stop at the gas station so I could put him gas for picking me up, and we got cigarettes and Cokes. And we were going back to the apartment. I asked him if he could stop at Walgreens so I could pick up some hygiene products.
Did Michelle go to work that day?
Yes.
How did she get to work?
Fabian dropped her off.
Were you with him when she was dropped off?
Yes.
After she gets dropped off, what did the two of you do?
We were driving around. We ended up going and meeting up with my friend Roxanne. I got some hygiene from her. And we ended up stopping back at Uncle David's. And then
What'd you do at Uncle David's?
we got some weed.
How long were you at Uncle David's for?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Okay, continue on. When did you got back?
And after that, I believe we went back to the apartment.
Do you remember about what time you got back to the apartment?
Maybe it was about 3 in the afternoon.
Whose apartment?
Michelle's apartment.
What did you do once you got back to Michelle's apartment?
I believe we drank a couple of beers and we smoked and we were just chilling.
So this is the night of the 22nd, Monday night.
Mhm.
Were you up past midnight that night?
I was up all night.
Was the defendant up all night?
I believe so.
In the early morning hours of the 23rd, so this is Tuesday, just after midnight, were you and the defendant using methamphetamine together?
Yes.
Where did that methamphetamine come from?
I had it.
You had it?
Mhm.
Where did you get it from?
I got it from the twins.
With Willie?
Yes.
Where did you use it?
We used it in the living room and then in Michelle's bathroom.
Can you describe how you and the defendant ingested the meth? How do you,
We smoked it out of an oil burner,
an oil burner?
Mhm.
What does that look like?
a pipe.
Glass?
A glass pipe.
While you and the defendant were using meth, where was Michelle?
In her room.
Where was Victoria and her brother?
I don't know if they were there or not. I'm not too sure if they were.
You don't remember seeing
I
them?
don't remember seeing them.
Do you remember seeing them earlier in the evening?
One moment, please. We're going to try and have you, I know we keep adjusting things, but
Okay.
you keep getting softer and softer. Move that to the other side since you're facing this way. She needs some help to do that. So put it on your right. Oh, yeah. Please. Let's see if that works.
So
Can I see your name?
Jessica Kelley?
That does seem better so far.
Do you remember earlier on the 22nd, like that evening, do you remember the kids getting home that evening or being home?
I don't know. I don't even remember. Honestly, I was under the influence.
So do you know if the defendant offered some of the meth to Michelle?
No.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
Did Michelle use any with you?
No.
Did she know you were using it?
hmm
How do you know?
That needs to be a yes or a no.
Yes,
She does know.
she did know.
How does she know?
Because she seen us smoking.
In her bathroom?
hmm
Yes or no?
Yes.
Did you use, for you, a typical amount of meth or?
Yes.
or less? And the two of you, after you used it in the bathroom, where did you go?
I went back to the living room and Fabian went to the bedroom with Michelle.
Do you remember about what time that was?
Probably maybe 1, 2 in the morning.
Did you see him again through the rest of that night?
Yeah, they went out to the balcony to smoke. I believe it was about 4 or 5 in the morning.
Do you know if the defendant used any more drugs after you smoked with him in the bathroom?
No.
Did you use any more drugs
Yes.
after that?
Yes.
Where in the apartment did you use this?
In the living room.
Tell me about the next time you talked to the defendant.
It was about 6 o'clock in the morning. I got really paranoid. I was using. I felt guilty. I ended up texting my mom.
Are you close with your mom? So you told your mom what happened?
Yeah, I let her know that I was messing up and that I needed to go back home. And I went and woke up Fabian because I was tripping out and asked him to read the Bible or something with me because I was really paranoid and I was really scared. And he did. He kind of like blew me off, but I was like really, really paranoid because of the drugs. And he ended up leaving, him and Michelle ended up leaving me there, and I just stayed at the apartment.
When you were talking to him and asking him to read the Bible with you, do you know if he was still high from the night before?
He could have been, but I woke him up. So he might have slept it off. I'm not too sure. He didn't sleep that long because I went and woke him up.
What, you wanted to read the Bible, what did you end up reading?
I didn't have a Bible, so I had it anchored to the soul book. I was just answering the questions in it and asked Fabian for a pen. And he was sitting there with me while I was writing in the book in Michelle's room.
Yeah, of course.
You may.
Ms. Kelley, I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification. It states 224 through 242. If you'll just look through these for us, and then I'll follow up when you're done.
And was that question, Kid?
Do you recognize all of these?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the book that you just described and the writing that you just described?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state moves for, and these are the way that they looked back when you wrote on them?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Do you think that this is your handwriting in here?
Most of yeah, it is my handwriting.
And you remember writing in the book?
I
that
remember
day?
writing in the book. I just don't exactly remember everything, so I was in like a delusional state.
Your Honor, the state moves for admission states 224 through 242.
Objection, if we may approach.
I'm gonna, or this book, a little more in depth.
So when you were sitting on the bed with the defendant, writing with the green pen, what was the conversation about?
I was paranoid, and I was talking about like my dad, my ex, just life in general. And I wasn't answering the questions as in like a right term because of my paranoid state. I thought like that book was trying to ask me questions what's deep within myself. And Fabian was just helping me answer them the best way he could so I could probably get out of this hair.
So when you say your ex, who is your ex?
Sinner.
His name is Sinner?
Yeah.
What's his real name?
John.
You know his last name?
Rosette.
How long do you think you were in Michelle's room doing this?
Maybe a good hour.
Were you in your right mind at that time?
No.
Is that part of why you were trying to work through
Mm-hmm.
stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Later on, Your Honor, the state once again moves into admission states 224 through 242.
Same objection, Mr. Ernst? Over objection 224 through 242 will be admitted.
Mayor Publisher?
You may.
So if we look here at 224, this is obviously the evidence bag, and I see a book called Faith to Faith, and one under it. Which one were you talking about?
If we could move the podium
Oh, you can't see it.
so I can
Sure.
see it.
Did you have two books
I had 2 books.
that you wrote in one book?
I wrote in one book.
Let me show you 225. Which one of these books are we talking about?
I was writing in the Anchor to the Soul.
I'm going to show you what's been admitted to states 226. Is this some of the kind of writing you were talking about?
Yes.
It's not working. It was on. Is it out?
The light came on.
What's going on? Do we have another one? Track tires.
Okay, wait, I wrote this.
Do you use, yeah, either that or that one?
Okay, I'll sit really close to this one.
So you can make that podium come out if you need to. There should be a little arrow.
Okay, I'm gonna get too caught. Okay, let's go back and take a look at what's been admitted as states 226. This is just a closer up, maybe on that same page. When we see, can you read for us kind of just what you wrote right here?
Get down on my knees.
Tell us kind of what's going on in your head while you're writing these types of things.
Honestly, I was just really paranoid about dying and not being right with God and not getting right with myself.
Let's look at 228. You wrote a lot on this page. In this page, you wrote, why do my children have to pay for what my dad and Sinner, why is it that I have to die like my, or like them? I can't totally read. Can you tell us what that word is? Or can you, what's going on here when you're writing this?
Well, my dad passed away when I was younger. The life that my dad lived wasn't too great. The guy that I was with, he didn't live too good of a life either. So I was really scared that from seeing the things that I've seen in my life, that I would have to pay for it.
And this is, you're writing this and talking through this with the defendant?
Yes.
Down the same page you wrote, I am sitting here I am wanting to understand, me and my children and family have to die for their mistakes, but God forgives. Is this just more of that?
Yeah, but like if you read the Bible, like if you don't believe in God or anything, like you're gonna die and you won't live in the next life or whatever. To my understanding and to the way I was thinking that day is, I gotta get my kids right, I gotta get myself right with God.
I'm going to show you states 233. You wrote, you crossed something out, and then you wrote, "Oh my God, I panicked when I looked at myself, and I felt you would," crossed out, "approve of me not sleeping and feeling and knowing this day would come." Tell us about that.
Like the realization that I needed to change my lifestyle.
I'm going to show you 234. Is this the writing, the type of writing you were doing? Or was this the writing that you were doing during that hour or so?
Yes.
And then here on 235, I see you've crossed out Father and John. Can you tell us,
I was just really paranoid.
was that in relation to your dad and John?
Yeah.
And John is sinner?
Mhm.
236. Was there anything about this that you remember specifically?
No.
And then the book appears on 237 to have kind of some checklists. And again, on 238, just some questions. Is this what you were talking about earlier when you said you were going through the questions in the book?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also on 241, looks like another page of questions.
Are you in the dirt?
I think that's too loud.
Do you think what you wrote in that book is pretty representative of the things that you were saying that morning?
Yes.
You said you got in touch with your mom. Did you reach out to another friend as well?
Yes, I did. I called Fabian's baby's mom and I asked her to come by.
Who's his baby's mom?
Amanda Solder.
Why did you reach out to her?
Because I was talking to her throughout those days, and I don't know, I just felt like if she came by, maybe she could give me a ride.
Where did you want to go?
I wanted to go back to my mom's, but that morning I was talking to my mom and my Uncle David called. I gave him an EBT card.
Let me back up just a little bit, Jessica. Let's go back to the morning, just in general in the morning. Do you remember seeing Victoria that morning? It was the morning of the 23rd, Tuesday.
No,
Do you remember Michelle doing anything in the kitchen that morning?
no, I was in her bedroom.
Do you remember seeing Victoria's little brother?
No.
Do you remember them coming or going from the house, like leaving for school or
Mm-mm.
nothing? So after you talked to Fabian and wrote in the books, who was home?
I believe Michelle was there, but then she left. And it was just me and Fabian.
Tell us when you reached out to your mom in relation to being home alone with the defendant.
About 6 in the morning. I texted her. She never texted me back. She didn't call me back about 10 in the morning. I believe that it was in the morning.
When she called you back and you talked to her, was the defendant there?
Yes, he just pulled up and he asked me for some gas money.
Where had he been before? I'm just trying to figure out if you were home alone in the morning.
Yeah, I was home alone.
Okay, so tell us how it came to be that you were home alone.
Fabian and Michelle left. I don't know where they went, but
Do you remember about what time?
it was in the morning.
In the morning. Okay, so go on from there. Let's start with there. They left.
They left.
What did you do while they were gone?
I sat there and I ingested drugs and I played on the phone, played on the internet.
What happened when they got home?
They actually drove up. They were outside. Fabian had me come outside so I could give him some gas money. I was on the phone with my mom at the time. And I
How
asked
did you
him,
have gas money?
I had money from Willie. I still had some money from him.
Continue.
And I asked him for the address because my mom was going to come pick me up and he wouldn't give me the address. So I let my mom know that I'll call her later and I'll figure it out.
Why wouldn't he give you the address?
He didn't want nobody knowing where the apartment's at.
What happened then?
I went ahead and gave him gas money. He left again.
Did he leave by himself?
him and Michelle left.
Who was driving?
Him.
They left again. How long were they home during that time when you?
They just pulled up real quick and then they left. They just came to get some money.
Do you know where they were going? Did he tell you where they were going?
No. He just seemed like he was going to meet somebody, and I was paranoid, thinking, oh my God, he's probably gonna go have an intervention or something. He's probably gonna, you know, why doesn't he want nobody to come and go over here? And I'm tripping in my own mind with my own guilt for getting high.
When you say you thought he was going to have an intervention, what is that? What do you mean by that?
I thought he was gonna go like get my mom and the kids and everybody and come over and have them talk to me.
Confront you about you.
Yeah.
Did he say at any time who he was, so you thought maybe he was going to have an intervention. At any time that day, did he tell you he was going to meet someone specifically?
No, well actually he did. At first, he came and went a few times. He told me that, oh, he's gonna go talk to Sinner. And I kind of was like, are you messing with my head now? Because he likes doing that. He knows he could do that to me. And then he said he was gonna go meet up with my cousin Joseph.
So Sinner is John.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know where he was at that time?
Yeah, I looked him up that morning and he was in DOC.
Yeah, for sure. How did you know that Sinner was in prison?
I looked him up on the internet that night when I was awake.
Did you see a picture of him?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what's remarked for identification. It states 221. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Is this the picture you looked up?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state moves into evidence. States 221.
Any objection?
No objection.
221 will be admitted. May I for what? Today.
Okay, I'm putting up here 221. So this is your ex, John?
Yes.
So when Fabian the next day told you that he was going to meet Sinner, tell us a little bit more about how that really messed with you.
Sinner don't really like me getting high, especially in methamphetamines.
Slow down a little bit. I'm having a hard time understanding you.
He doesn't like me getting high on methamphetamines. When he went to prison, I didn't use that drug. And I was in contact with him while I was in prison and before prison. And we had plans on getting a house and getting back together and actually trying to change our lives from the drug scene. And I knew, because I was in love with him, I felt like I was going to lose the man I loved behind my drug use. And I felt guilty.
Did the defendant personally know Sinner? Had they met before?
I believe they met in prison before.
Let me move to the rest of that morning. So you're feeling paranoid, you're writing the books. After the defendant left the last time you talked about, after the cigarettes, did you know where he went?
Actually, no, I didn't know where he went. He just kept leaving.
How long was he gone that time?
I couldn't actually tell exactly the time. My time was off that day because I was in a paranoid state. I would leave the balcony back door open so I could walk out there, and I'd leave the front door open. So I was walking back and forth waiting for him to come back or to see if somebody was coming. And he ended up coming back later on that day, I believe before Victoria got out of school. And he told me that he has to go meet up with his brother, Joseph.
Which brother did he
Joseph.
Was he meet with Joseph?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, cool. But the things he was saying, he was like, oh yeah, he's gonna hook me up. And then like when I was like, I don't kind of believe you, because sometimes he over-exaggerates.
When you say hook him, he said he was going to get hooked up by his brother. What does that mean?
Fabian said that he was gonna go pick up an ounce from him.
An ounce of what?
He didn't say.
What did you take that to mean?
An ounce of meth.
How was he acting that day?
He just kept coming and going, and it was like he was playing on my paranoia.
Why do you say that?
Because he knew I was paranoid. I kept telling him, and he kept going and coming, and acting like he was going to go meet up with somebody. But he never told me who or what, and I didn't want to ask no questions. Sometimes when I'm high like that, I don't like asking too many questions.
When you're describing being home alone before Victoria got home from school, you kept opening the front and back doors?
No, I didn't I left them open. I left them cracked. I left the balcony door wide open. But I left the front door cracked so I could hear if somebody was coming up the stairs.
Describe for us a little bit about what's going on in your head. Did you think, more than just feeling paranoid, did you think something was happening with the television or more with these books?
I felt like the TVs were talking to me, like not talking to me, but sending me messages like for me to stop what I'm doing and all that. And I was taking it like a sign from God. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody's religious or anything, but sometimes you see signs and things, or the way you believe, or your beliefs. And I just believe that he was like giving me a reality check of what I really wanted in life.
Was there a time when you decided you were done with drugs?
Yeah,
Tell us about
after Fabian left to go meet up with Joseph or whatever, I got paranoid. I really thought Fabian was trying to set me up. I don't know if he was setting me up with the cops or with anybody, and I got paranoid and I threw my drugs in the trash,
Which trash?
in the kitchen trash can.
And you were home alone when it happened?
Yes.
What did you do after that?
I actually just stayed, and then my sister ended up calling.
Where was your sister?
Or wait, no, my sister. This day is just like really mixed up, but I believe they came back with Victoria, and I was getting ready in the bathroom.
Did anyone ask you to pick up Victoria from the bus station?
No.
Did you, while you were home, hear Victoria knocking, or was the front door open? What was going on?
No, I thought they left with her, you know,
Who's they?
Fabian and Michelle.
You thought they left with Victoria?
I thought they took her with them when they left. I ended up, my paranoid state kept going back and forth, and I noticed that the car was gone, Fabian was nowhere in sight, Michelle was nowhere in sight, and this little girl was just on her scooter outside by herself.
Let me back up a little bit from that. Before that, you said they left with her. So when was the first time you saw her after school? How did she arrive home?
With Fabian and Michelle.
The three of them flew home together?
Mhm.
Before that, while she was at school, presumably, is that still part of the time when you had the door cracked?
Yes, I had the door cracked all day that day.
And you didn't see her before the three of them came back together?
No.
So then, go back to what you were saying. So after that, how long were they home with Victoria?
Not long. Fabian went to the bathroom, and before that, he asked me like, "Hey, where's the bowl?" You know, and I told him, "Put it in the trash. You could go get it." You know.
When he says the bowl, what is he talking about?
The pipe with meth in it, and I told him, "You go get it. I don't want it." You know. He's like, he looked at me kind of crazy, and he ended up getting it, and he went to the bathroom and he smoked some.
Which bathroom?
Michelle's bathroom to her bedroom.
Do you know if she knew he was smoking that?
I believe so. She was in her room.
What happened after that?
I was actually in there getting ready too, but I was talking to Michelle and little Victoria while he was smoking, and then I ended up giving the little girl some money because she's like, "It's my birthday," and I was like, "What?"
So where were you getting ready to go?
I was just getting ready just in case anybody came over or anything, so I didn't look tweaked out.
And when you say the little girl, you mean Victoria?
Victoria.
So she told you it was her birthday.
And I kind of felt bad because like they didn't do nothing for her birthday. I didn't know about it. I was unaware of it. So I gave her some money, you know?
How much money did you give her?
$45.
Wasn't that a lot of money?
Yeah, but not really. If you take a kid to the store, toys are pretty expensive.
So then, you were just describing a minute ago before we backed up, you thinking that the three of them, Michelle, the defendant, and Victoria, had left together.
Yes.
So during this day, you're still under the influence?
Yes, I'm under the influence. I was getting high that morning. I stopped getting high about like, maybe I'd say 10 in the morning.
Tell us about when you realized that Victoria was still around.
When I went and peeked out the front door, I seen her on her scooter by herself. And Fabian or Michelle was nowhere to be found. The car wasn't there either. So I called her up inside and I told her, "Hey," I walked down the stairs and I asked her, "Hey, where's your mom? Where's Fabian?" And she's like, "Oh, they left." And I was like, "Well, what are you doing now? Riding my scooter." "Well, why don't you come inside and eat some sunflower seeds or something?" She's like, "Okay." There was two girls at the bottom of the stairs and they were talking to her about her birthday or something, or asking what she wanted. And she was like, "Oh, just whatever." And she ended up going up the stairs with me into the apartment.
Let's put a pin in talking to the neighbors just for a second, and let's back up to around when you gave Victoria the money.
Okay.
Do you remember anything else happening with that money?
No. I think Fabian ended up getting it because he pulled her to the side, but I'm not too sure what he was telling her or what. But I believe, I don't know.
Is this around the time that you think the three of them leave?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
That's a yes? Tell us about talking to your sister. Was that before you saw Victoria outside on the street?
Yes, it was before I seen her outside, after Fabian and Victoria and Michelle left. My sister ended up calling me on a collect call from prison.
How were you feeling during this call?
Very paranoid.
Kind of the same as the rest of the day? Your Honor, the state will move into evidence what's been marked for identification as 220, which I believe is stipulated.
That's correct, Judge.
220 will be admitted into the public.
New Mexico Women's Correctional Facility. Subject to 14 monitoring. To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, press 2. If you would like to provide a water number for receiving calls from this facility, press 6. Thank you for using security. You may start the conference. Hello? Why can't you my fucking call, bitch? Oh, bitch, because I said I only have to phone. Bitch, got out? Well, you got now. Oh, you got? Got? You got. Oh, you talking to him or what? No, you fucking didn't have the TV and everything, Crystal. It scared me. I think you're just tweaking. No. Yeah, you're tweaking. I can hear it in your lungs. Well, I am, but Crystal. Yeah. I think you're just tweaking. Where are you at? No. Hey, Crystal, you know those, you know that Anchor for the Soul? He rewrote it to me. And then the Facebook, he rewrote it. Yeah. And he put it in my shit without me knowing it. You know that? Yeah, you already know he's a creep. Where are you at? In the apartment. Whose apartment? My apartment. Huh? My apartment. Where are you at? You in that apartment? No, I'm staying with the little girl. Who? Michelle. Have you went back to Pee-wee's or what? Have you went back to Pee-wee's? No. No. Hey, what'd you do today for symptoms? I'm super done. And then someone wants to talk to you. Right, then. Okay, what's going on? Hi, Mama. Hey, how you doing? Good, how are you? Having fun? Yeah. Good. Oh, it's been hearing from you. Okay, I'm going to give you the number. It's 304. 304? 2491. 2491. All right. Okay. It's not letting me. No? God won't let me do it. Well, do me a favor. Just whenever you get a chance, just text our number. And you're calling for me, and if you can please tell me some money. Alright. That's all. And then I won't have to talk to you. Alright, what's the story? Tell his name's Patrick, just so you know. Patrick? Yeah. Yeah, tell him that if he needs just know how to do it, just ask you, and you can tell him how to do it. Don't you hear me? Are you ready for, to talk to Papa? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey. What do you mean thinner down? It's not thinner no more, it's gone. Oh my God, he's out. And then? And? He said the lights out of me. Oh my God, shut up. Are you alright? No. Why? Because I was messing up and I was up and he scared me back. Well, get your shit together then. Stop it. I am. Oh my God, you fucking better not fuck up and I mean it. Where are you going? Don't worry about that. Better not. Hey, listen, I got a question. I need you, if you find actually an apartment out there. Because you don't have a question. I need an apartment for her. But it's got to be good over there in the workshop around that area. That's by your fairground? It's got to be out there. Yeah? Yeah. I'll look at it. She's probably out there. Okay, well, you try to find one and see what we can do. Because you know what? Right now we're just paying room. Remember she got evicted on the 5th? Well, right now we're just paying $200 then give me the phone number and tell them I'll call them. Okay. Just make sure you tell them that it's not a good credit background. It'll be under her name, but she doesn't have no credit, but the money is due every month. Okay. And make sure you tell them that she does get high and stuff. You know what I'm saying? She's one of them. You know. Okay? All right. So when can I call you back? Give you a couple of days or what? Give me about 4 minutes. Okay, so I'll call you on Friday. Okay? All right, on Friday. Thanks, Jess. Please, for Ashley, please. I will. Okay. Thank you, baby. Here's your sister. Hey, I'm outside. Come outside. You're not? Yeah, I was dinner. You're a fucking liar. We're on the roof, bro. You hear us? Call you on, dude. You're too easy. Crystal, you don't even know, dude. I'm telling you that Matt's just saying no joke on that these days. It's no fun. You don't have a phone like that, dude. Stop it. You're tripping. No. I got a recording call, stupid fuck. They're monitored. So what are they going to do to the user? Well, she's on her phone. Fucking hectic. Okay, what part of town are you in? We're in Rancho. Michelle, who's Michelle? Is it Mousy? No. Well, get a hold of Mousy for that apartment, because her mom manages PC management apartment. Okay. She's the one that got me in Northern apartment. Oh, really? Yeah, but she really needs to find a place. And I know you can find one, just like 1 or 2 bedroom, just for her, just like 1 bedroom. Yeah. But you jump on the phone first, and why don't you call Patrick? That's my stepdad. Yeah. We're just taking over the world. Yeah, we just take over the world every day. I just love her. Oh my God, you freaked me out, sister. Oh my God. You just showed up or what? No, he has the TV, dude. How did he have the TV? I don't know. He's a millionaire. So. Generous? Yes. He's not there no more. God. Oh God, you're stupid. For real, that's what you said. He's gone now. Oh my God. I can't believe he freaking wrote this book and put it in my room. Crazy. He's a creep, huh? Yeah, so was Ike, so was Pee-wee, so was all the people we work with. Cody. So who are you with? Myself? No. What are you doing right now? I was finished reading this book. He had me all freaked out. He had me thinking that they're rolling up on me right away because they're watching they're driving around the fucking apartment. Yeah. Oh my God, I thought I'm like, well, what are you gonna put? Oh my goodness. Oh, I've been doing all right. I'm just gonna stay for 4 days to me. Yeah. 8 other people. So you got your money then? Huh? No, we drank. And the day after you left and fucking, Okay, the guy was trying to flirt with me, give me a trick. He's trying to take me out to dinner to CCA finance, But, yeah, I got that $30. But I'm on restriction, so, again, if you get any other money we need to put out for this book, it's going to take yourself a restriction in a week and a half. And me and Susan, we just got our findings, and we got 30 days off good time, 60 days off all privileges, and all kinds of bullshit. I don't know. So, but I put in for emergency contract. That's why I'm able to call right now. And he says he's not going to turn in the paperwork until next week, so we can get a contract this week. Oh, you little fucking OG over here is going to get fucking knocked out, dude. Oh, I knocked her out. I don't know, too, Jessica. Okay, so she's going around telling everybody, oh, Dina stinks, right? Oh, man, you know what I'm damn it. And then fucking, so I told her, because I heard her, and then fucking Arlene was like, hey, you need to tell your friend Dina to shower, because of the extensions and the extension smells. So I was like, so I told her, yeah, I said, so she smells or what? And she goes, oh, I never said that. I said, well, it's kind of fucked up if you call her your friend, I thought her to go shower her, that's fucked up, instead of going and telling other people, you know what I mean? She goes, oh, no, I never said that. And then she was telling me, why are you telling Crystal that I'm saying that? And, because I never told her that Arlene told me, you know what I mean? And so I told everybody, and I was like, well, if you didn't say it, what are you worried about what they're telling me? And I was like, to check it out, I said, you're a foul ass bitch. I don't want nothing to do with you. Don't look my way. Don't fucking come near me. Like, get the fuck away from me. She was proved that I'm a dirty ass bitch. I said, I'll prove it, bitch. Go to your room. I'll knock the fuck out of you. And then, she's like, really, I can't fight you over this dumb ass shit. I said, it ain't a fucking choice for me to stay the fuck away from me. I'm gonna knock the fuck out. That's it, that's all. And then, like, I don't know, just because she took it. She's whack. I'll be a good girl now. You better. Hey, go back here. Yeah, we took over the world this morning. Me and my friend, we woke up early. Because we have a break at 9 o'clock in the morning now, so we have to wake up early. So we folks that are up early in the morning every day. We stay at our office, we shower, and we go to rest. And then fucking Sylvia really still starting all kinds of shit. So I was like, fuck you guys, I'm done with you guys. Like, fuck me, Shay, I'm done with you. And then I come back up, fuck yeah, I'm done with you. And then Nico's so now she's done with her, so it's just us now. We're taking over the world. And then we have battle check today, and then we were like, hey, fuck the I was like, police. And then police comes up to the door and says, yeah, it's just me and my second buddy. And then everybody goes, oh, you're such a pretty couple. That's funny. But more. But, I'm gonna let you go while you tweak out, but, no, you don't actually. Yeah, we're done with this book. You freaked me out, Crystal. That's why I mean, roll up on. Well, you don't need to be tweaking, you need to be fucking on top game. If you're tweaking, you're gonna be fucking. Well, you know what? I'm a grown up woman, don't tell me. No, bitch, no, fuck you. Don't tell me ever what to do, Crystal. No. Shut up. Okay, what did you fucking want to do? Javier. Javier, okay. And you said, we fucking jumped when we got it, dude. But I was just like, I didn't have to. You didn't fucking call for me to get your money, dude. No. I told you to go fucking take that letter to Pee-wee. I have that letter for Pee-wee. We're back over there because I don't have to be Crystal. What I'm saying is, if he's shooting you out, stick over and fucking trip him out, like, because it is. No, fuck no. That's not my business. Just to be a friend. Fuck no. I'd rather not be around that, dude. No, sinner. Oh, him. Yeah, absolutely. I'm done. I'm done. I have to be done. Well, indeed. You're dumb. All right, well, I'm gonna let you go. All right, then, I love you. I love you too, be good. Bye.
Ms. Kelley, while we are listening to that call, we heard you getting some phone numbers and names from Snookums and Salsa. I'm going to show you what's been admitted to States 242, which I need to see. Okay, so this is another page out of that same book. What is this page?
That was just the contact info so I could call and get a hold of Patrick and trying to find an apartment for Salsa for her daughter.
So a lot of the content of that call you sort of jotted with that same pen?
Yeah.
What room were you in when you did this?
It was in Michelle's room.
And did you know that Michelle was home?
She wasn't home.
You talked about a car driving around just in that call. Was that real?
I don't think it was real. I think it was just me being paranoid, maybe somebody coming and going from the apartments.
Was there like a specific car that you thought you saw more than once, or?
Yeah. I seen like a tan car, kind of like Michelle's, but not Michelle's, come a few times.
Do you know if you really saw the same car or not?
No, I don't know.
You also said that you had to be a good girl now. What did you mean by that?
I was trying to let my sister know, don't be talking on the phone, because I agreed to do something for her in prison, and my sister talks a little bit too much on the phone and I get paranoid. That's why I talk crazy like that, so she'll get the hint, like, quit talking. Yeah.
You sound a lot different talking now than you did when you were talking to your sister.
Yeah, I was under the influence.
Is this the same kind of conversations you were having with the defendant earlier on?
Yes.
After you talked to your sister, how long were you home alone at that little stretch? Or how much longer were you home alone?
Maybe an hour, I'm not too sure.
Do Do you remember the defendant and Michelle and Victoria being back home at some point?
They never came back.
Do you remember,
Well, they did come back, but they didn't come back before I went and seen Victoria outside.
okay, so the next thing you remember is you looked out and saw Victoria in her scooter?
Yes.
Were there people around Victoria?
There wasn't like people around her, but there was people like downstairs in the downstairs apartment, maybe just on the porch and stuff. And other people around like in other apartments, but there was nobody actually around Victoria.
Were you worried about her?
I was concerned. I wouldn't let my kids be out there in the apartment complex by themselves.
Were those people downstairs, did it appear they were watching her or
No.
with her?
No.
So then tell me what happened from then. What did you do? Let's go back.
I told Victoria to come inside. Victoria talked to the two girls, the two women that were at the stairs about her birthday, and we went back inside. I gave her some sunflower seeds that I had in my purse, and the remote, and she was watching cartoons and doing her homework.
Oh, perfect. Okay, sorry. You said that you saw some neighbors on the stairs?
Yes.
Didn't show you stage 4. Are you talking about these stairs?
Yes.
Okay.
They're to the right hand side.
They were over here?
I'm on the bottom.
They were down here.
Yes.
And how long, you talked about a birthday, how long did you talk to them for?
I actually didn't really talk to them. Victoria was talking to them about her birthday and what she wanted, and they asked her what she wanted, and she's like, oh, just whatever. She's just being a kid, you know?
Did you tell the neighbors about what you gave her for her birthday?
I believe I told her I gave her some money so she could get her a toy.
Tell us about going inside.
We went inside, and I left the door cracked still. I was still paranoid. Victoria was watching cartoons and doing her homework and eating sunflower seeds.
Where'd you get those sunflower seeds?
I had them in my purse left over from my son's game. Because she didn't want like no snacks or nothing. I was going to make her something to eat, but she wasn't hungry. So I was like, okay, well, here's some sunflower seeds. And she took them from me.
How are you feeling at this point about sort of finding her alone?
I was concerned. I didn't understand why they would just leave her outside like that and just take off. They never told me that she was outside. And if she was left with somebody who was watching her because nobody was watching her, they would have at least approached me and stopped me and be like, well, who are you, you know? But nobody did, so I bring her inside and I'm like, oh, she'll be safe in here, you know? Even though I was under the influence and everything. I'm like, they'll be coming back soon. She's in the house, she'll be fine, you know?
Around this time, did you talk to anyone else? If you remember.
I believe Nia called me.
Who's Nia?
Arnelia Williams, one of my friends.
What did you talk to her about?
I think she asked me about my job and stuff, and I'm not really too sure what we talked about, but I do remember talking to her. And I told her that I'll call her when I sobered up.
Tell us what Victoria did after she had her snack and was she on the couch watching?
Yeah, she was just on the couch.
And what did she do after she was done with that?
She went and got some pajamas on, and then she told me that she was going to go ahead and go to her room, that I could watch the TV in the living room.
She had a TV in her room?
Yeah.
What did she do when she went in her room? Do you know?
No, the door was cracked. I just thought she turned on the TV and just watched TV in her room.
When she first came home, or when you first saw her, do you remember what she was wearing?
I think she was wearing shorts on the top.
How long was she in her room?
She stayed in her room.
What happened next?
Some guy just shows up. I left the door open, so he like kind of walks in.
Had you ever seen him before?
I've never seen him before, but I was like, I don't know who he is, but he came in like he knew the place, like he knew the house, you know? He knew the people of the house. And being that I just barely showed up, I didn't question why he was there, you know? He did ask for a Fable, and I told him that he wasn't here.
Who's Fabo?
Fabian?
The defendant?
Yes.
How did he ask for him?
He asked, where's Fable? And I told him he wasn't here. And he was like, oh, well, who is? And I said, me and the girl. And I pointed to the room, and he like nodded, and then he went to the room. So I just figured he knew the little girl, he knew the family. So I'm like, oh.
You pointed to Victoria's room?
Yes. And I ended up grabbing a cigarette and going to the balcony and smoking a cigarette, not thinking anything was going to happen. And when he came out, he let me know that we had something to clean up in there. And I didn't understand what he was saying. At first, I thought he was like playing with me, you know? So I waited until he left, and I went to go look outside before I went to even check on Victoria. I was like, who is this guy, you know? So I went and looked outside to see if I seen anything like out of the ordinary or anybody out there that I knew, and I didn't. So I went and checked on Victoria. I noticed she was laying down, and I checked her pulse, and she didn't have a pulse.
Let me back up just a little bit. When he left, and he said there was something to clean up, did he threaten you?
Yeah.
Without saying any, what else he said, did he say more?
He just
Wait,
threatened
hold
me.
on.
He just threatened me and my kids and my cousin.
When Fabian came home later, did you tell him all the things that this person said?
Yes.
And did that include some things about him specifically?
Yes.
Just yes?
Yes.
You have your question?
You may.
Let's go back to what the man said specifically. He came in and asked for a favor, and then went into Victoria's room. And when he came back out, specifically, tell us everything that he said.
He told me that Fabian fucked up and he knows he did, and that we have a mess in there to clean up, and if I didn't get it done and let him know about it, then it's going to be my life and my kids and whoever is involved in that.
Ms. Kelley, we're not picking up anything you're saying, so just slow down a little bit.
Okay.
And because your mask is a little more muffled, so just slow down and speak more clearly, please. Ask the question again, please.
So tell us everything he said when he came out of the room.
He said that Fabian fucked up, he knows he did, and there's a mess in there that me and Fabian have to clean up, and if not, it's going to be our lives and my kids' lives.
And you had never seen this person before?
No.
Did you know what he was talking about when he said Fabian fucked up?
No. Honestly, I just thought he was like messing around with me. So when I'm in that high paranoid state, I think everybody's just messing with me.
And at this point, this is when you looked outside?
And after he left, I waited a few minutes and I went and looked outside to see, and he was gone. I didn't see Fabian, nobody out there, and nothing out of the ordinary. So that's when I went inside and I checked Victoria's pulse.
Do you know about what time that was when you looked outside?
It seemed like the sun was starting to go down.
And you didn't see anybody else?
No.
What did you do next?
I got really scared and I waited until Fabian came home.
Did you do anything with Victoria?
No.
Where was she in her room?
In her room, she was laying on the floor in front of the TV.
What position was she laying in?
She was laying just flat on her back.
How did she look?
She just looked like she was sleeping.
Did you put a blanket on her?
Actually, I heard Fabian pull up and Michelle because of the loud music, and I panicked and I went and picked up Victoria and I threw the blanket over her because I thought maybe we could just leave with her. And as I walked outside, I started carrying her. She was really heavy. She was too heavy for me to carry, and I panicked and I just took her back inside and I covered her up.
You said that you heard Fabian because of the music. Why did you know? What did you hear and why did you know that was him?
The music was blaring usually when he's drinking and stuff. He's listening to the music real loud.
We still can't hear you very well, so.
It's my mask.
Yeah. I'm wondering if you do actually just hold it away from your face and talk, if that's a
Okay.
little bit better. Let's try that.
Okay.
I'm going to show you 4 again. Are these the stairs that you're talking about?
Yes.
How far down did you get to her?
Maybe 3 steps down.
And how covered with a blanket was she?
I just like threw the blanket over her, like if I was just carrying her down, like if she was sleeping.
So you got, I'm sorry, you said 3/4 down?
Like about 3 steps down.
3 steps. Okay, so just right here first as
Yeah.
well. And did you say anything to, in this picture, is this where their car was parked? About?
Yeah, about right there.
So they're somewhere here, okay? And did you say anything to them?
I'm not too sure if I said anything, but they were coming in, so I knew that they were going to come in, so I just went and put her back in the room. And then I started panicking because her mom, and I just didn't want the situation to like blow up and be a crazy situation.
How long until they came inside?
They came in, they were out there for a few minutes, and then they came inside. And Fabian told Michelle right away to make some tacos. And I pulled Fabian to the balcony, and I let him know about the guy coming, and I let him know that Victoria was in her room dead.
What did he say?
He went and checked, and he came back, and I don't think he really believed me, because he was like, "For real, cuz, what the fuck?" And I was like, "For real, like, what do we got to do? We have to get rid of her body, like, no." And he said, "All right, we'll take turns."
How are you feeling at this time? Are you still
I'm high, but I'm like coming down.
sobering up a little bit?
I'm sobering up. I was just really scared.
What happened then?
We sat there and we acted like we were gonna eat tacos. I couldn't really eat, so I put my tacos back in the microwave. Fabian went to the room with Michelle for a little bit,
Which room?
Michelle's room. And he told me he was going to have her go to bed. And then he came back out and he went into the room with Victoria. And
When Michelle and Fabian came upstairs from the car, and you pulled Fabian aside, did Michelle check on Victoria?
no,
When tacos were made, did anyone offer any to Victoria?
no.
Okay, continue on. So,
Fabian went in there and it was taking a little while, so I was like, what's going on?
in where? In
In
Victoria's room?
Victoria's room. So I went in there and he had already started cutting her up. And he had me hold one of her arms while he cut the other arm. And then I felt like I was going to get sick and he told me to hand the basket to him. I poured it out, gave him the basket,
Which basket?
an orange basket that was in her corner of her room.
What was in the basket?
Clothes.
I'm sorry?
Clothes.
I'm going to show you 151. So this is the bed here. Is this the area where the basket was?
Yes.
Is this the contents of the basket that you...
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recognize anything else in this photograph?
That blanket. That's the blanket that I covered her with.
When you carried her downstairs?
Yes.
So you poured out the contents of that basket,
Mm-hmm.
and then...
I left the room to go get a bowl of soapy water to help clean up the blood.
Let me back you up just a little bit. When he's cutting her, what is under her?
Trash bags.
Where did those come from?
I believe in the kitchen.
Who got them?
He did. Fabian did.
When?
Before he went in there, I guess. I didn't actually see him get in though.
Did you see... What is he cutting her with?
Knives from the kitchen.
Did you... Who got those?
He did.
Do you know when?
I don't know when. He must have just got him before he went in there.
So you leave, you give him... You dumped the basket out and you left. Did you leave the basket in Victoria's room?
Yes.
And start from there, where did you go?
I went to the kitchen and I got a bowl of soapy water, a dish towel, and I just got some fresh air because I felt like I was going to get sick. And I went back in there with Fabian, and at that point he was cutting her in the middle. So what are you doing?
What do you mean cutting her in the middle?
He was cutting her in the middle of her chest, and he was like, we got to make her look like it's not us. And I was like, what the? I was like, just get the fuck out of here, I'll finish it. And he was like, well, whatever then.
How long was he in the room when you went out to the kitchen to get the bowl? You said you were getting some fresh air. How long did you leave for?
Oh, maybe 5 minutes, not long. I just had to find a bowl and some soap and some water and everything.
And when you get back,
When I get back, that's when he's cutting her, and I told him I'll finish cleaning her up. And
did she have, you said you cut the arms. Where were those? Do you know?
they were in that basket with the bag.
How do you know?
Huh?
How do you know they were in there? Or how did you know?
Because after I went in there, they were in there, and when I was cleaning up the blood and wrapping her body up, they were in that basket, and that basket I took it to the kitchen to take out when we took out her body.
How was that? Describe that bag inside for us.
It was just a trash bag.
Was it closed or open?
It was like twisted.
And who did that?
Fabian.
So that was just in the orange basket and you took it, and where did you put it exactly?
I put it in the kitchen by the door, so when we went out, we could just take that with us.
And what's Fabian doing while you're moving that basket?
He went back to the room with Michelle, and I cleaned up all the blood, and I wrapped up her body, and
What did you wrap her with?
a sheet from the closet. When I was getting the sheet from the closet, I seen an iron, and I set it on the kitchen table for when I was done. I was going to kill Fabian and Michelle because I was afraid to go back to prison and afraid of the whole situation, and I knew if I didn't get rid of her body, the repercussions would have been bad.
How long total did it take to cut her the way she was cut?
2 hours, I believe.
Did you help with more than just the one arm?
No.
Did you see, you said you came in and he was cutting her in the middle, you mean her chest?
Mm-hmm.
How far?
Is that a yes?
Is that a yes?
Yes.
How far into that was he?
He was already in her chest with the bag on his hand,
Describe that for me. What bag? Another bag, honestly?
like a trash bag. And he
Over
was
his
reach-
arm?
Over his hand, and reaching in and pulling out her heart.
Did you see anything else come out?
No.
How long did you stay in there at that point?
I believe I stayed in there when he pulled it out, but that's when I started like cleaning up stuff, and
Was he still doing stuff to her?
no, he quit doing stuff to her. And he went and he washed his hands, I guess, and went in the room with Michelle to make sure she didn't come out.
How long did it take you to clean the carpet?
Probably about an hour.
Where was Victoria when you did that?
She was right there, laying right there. And when I was done cleaning her, I had her wrapped up and asked Fabian to help me move her into the bathtub.
Did he help you?
Yes.
How, you said you got a sheet and she was wrapped in that. Was she wrapped in anything else?
Just, I believe the bags, and I put her clothes back on her.
What clothes did you put on her?
Her pajamas that were laying right there.
Where did you put those?
I just put them on her.
We're going to go about 5 more minutes unless this is a good place to stop.
This is probably a good place to start.
All right, we're going to take our lunch break. We'll see you back here at 1 o'clock.